So, Carl, who are the candidates to watch this year, including the top three Republicans and top three Democrats?
Well, for the top three Democrats, it's Hillary Clinton, and then Hillary Clinton, and then Hillary Clinton. The other Democrats are dropping out in droves. It's going to be her and Bernie Sanders up until the point it's not. The best thing about a Bernie Sanders candidacy is that it keeps her on her toes for the debates coming up, but she's not going to have to really worry about him as that big a contender after you get through Iowa and New Hampshire, unless she implodes and then Joe Biden jumps in. Republican side, everybody's going to be watching Trump and watching Carson right up to the point they don't, because neither of those are candidates that probably have legs to make it all the way through the primaries. You got to remember, Republicans are conservatives. Conservatives don't go for flashy radical at the end of the day. They tend to go for more of the tried and true, which means a Bush. Maybe if you really want to be exotic, a Rubio. And if you want to go for old style, a Kasich. Those will probably be the main contenders once we get out of the holidays and the holiday cheer.
Of those, who do you think might surprise us?
The surprise right now is that Donald Trump has gone on as long as he did, and the big surprise is going to be, I don't think there's going to be a big surprise. At the end of this, it's probably going to be Hillary Clinton with the Democrats, and probably a Jeb Bush because he's got establishment power, and that wins off over the long haul. Now, the difference between this and 2012 when Mitt Romney won was that Romney was always number two for months. I mean, everybody got ahead of Mitt Romney at some point. Rick Perry's dog was ahead of Mitt Romney at one point, but Mitt Romney was always a solid second place with 25, 30, 35% of the vote. This time around, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio are down at single digits. How you come back from that to win your nomination and then win the presidency, that's going to be an interesting one to see if they can even pull it off.
There's a lot of focus right now on the debates. Do they really make a difference?
The debates matter at the beginning and the end. At the beginning, they help you to sort out the wheat from the chaff. Notice you went from the kids' table debate they said with the Republicans to the main debate. Carly Fiorina made the jump up. Then you lost people. The Rick Santorums and the rest never made the transition. You'll winnow down over the next couple of debates to the final 5, 6, 7 for the Republicans. For the Democrats, that first debate was decisive for Hillary Clinton. She was able to show that she can do it. Yeah, so Bernie Sanders kind of lost a little ground, and Joe Biden didn't jump in. So as long as Hillary Clinton can hold it together in the November debate, the December debate, she can take off the holidays and rest. They winnow out, and then once you get into the primaries, the first debate during the primaries will have an influence in wedding out the last of the top 4 or 5 for the Republicans.
In terms of education, what, if any, issues are on the table right now?
Oh, for education, there's a lot on the table because in general, Republicans like to move education back to the states and then not fund it at the federal level. And in states, Republicans generally not wanting to support major increases in funding have tended to be more parsimonious, or the argument would be more efficient with money. You typically get less money for Republicans going to higher ed. On the Democratic side, they're talking about maybe having a universal college education, or at least what we used to have in California, community college education for free. You know, in the 19th century, we decided that K through 12 was required to run our society, so it had to be publicly paid for. In the 20th century, we said college, and after World War II, the GI Bill and then free community colleges, we saw a view that this was something to fund. Now we're telling kids, take out massive debt, graduate from college with the skills we need, but wait an extra 20 years before you can buy a house. We're eating our young. So the Democrats may be more active, progressive, if you dare say, on education, but then there's a debate about how much education do you need. So there is a clear difference between the parties. Voters will have to weigh in.
And in terms of student interest, are they as engaged as they were in previous campaigns?
Unfortunately, ever since we gave 18-year-olds the right to vote in the 1960s, they have chosen continuously not to. What you saw with the big drop-off in voter turnout since the 60s, in no small part, is because 18 to 24-year-olds just don't vote as much. There was that theory that Barack Obama brought them out in droves. The 18 to 24 turnout wasn't appreciably higher in 2008 than it was in 2004. So student vote, we have really not done well to civically engage our students on campuses. What I've heard anecdotally and also in terms of some studies, ASG, student body elections, are attracting fewer and fewer people and the attention to it. If you can't get them to vote on their own campus where people can determine how much it's going to cost you in the cafeteria to affect your day-to-day life, getting students to vote nationally has become more difficult with the millennials. And that's really bad because millennials really need to get their voice into government. Otherwise, it goes to the usual suspects. Money goes up to older people, not to younger people in schools. We give less money in terms of support to students in attending school than we used to, and schools have gotten more and more expensive without a better education necessarily for students. So yeah, you don't want massive student debt, you should be wanting to vote.
So potentially Hillary Clinton, Jeb Bush next year. Who do you think ends up in the White House?
Given the popular sentiment, the Republicans have a problem with disappearing electorate. Their electorate's getting older and older, and Jeb Bush is just not going to excite people. Hillary Clinton's got the fact she'd be the first woman president. That given that turnout is higher for Democrats in election year, and that it all really, if you look at the electoral map, comes down to Florida. Florida is the swing state. Democrats can win the presidency without Florida. There's no combination I've seen of electoral votes where Republicans can win without Florida. Jeb Bush has the advantage of governor of Florida. Hillary Clinton won Florida in the 2008 primary, even though it didn't count it. That'll be the battleground. It's a question of how many people can get out there based in Florida. I'm going to go with Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. And if she wins, Republicans have to completely reconceptualize themselves as a national party. They'll be an obstructionist regional party otherwise, unless they can win. This is their best chance to win between now and 2020, 2024.
Great, thank you very much.
Hey, that was easy.